Well, looks like Nintendo has found themselves fans of my videos. And how do I know, you may ask? Well, if you had watched my previous videos and also been keeping up with Nintendo's most recent announcements, you'd know that that voice crack. You'd know that I'm right on the money with a decent amount of predictions. But what am I talking about exactly? Well, let's take a look real quick. First, let's start with Pokemon Pocket TCG. In my last video that I made about them, not the Scalpers video, which you should check out, but the dedicated video towards Pokemon TCG, I made the comparison to Duel Links quite a few times and had said that Pokemon should take some of the variety that Duel Links has and introduce something like structure decks. Well, wouldn't you know it, with the most recent update to Pokemon Pocket TCG, not only did they add a new pack, which in my opinion is a little too fast, because I haven't even collected all the cards from the last pack, but they also added structure decks. Now granted, these structure decks are locked behind a specific type of currency and you can only get one at the moment, but the reason still stands that they did add them and it was after my video, so you're welcome. The other point of favor is experience. Like I mentioned last time, everything gave you 25 EXP, and I will note that maybe that was just me being negligible and paying attention, and maybe other stuff did give you more than 25 experience, but I didn't see it. I didn't see it happening. But now, some of the most current missions that I've been doing, the first time you battle them at least, will give you 75 experience. Not saying this is going to be a permanent change or that ranked will do it, because I don't really play ranked, but maybe it's a step in the right direction. Now, I fully expect these missions that have given me 75 EXP to give me 25 once I beat them again, but again, just a step in the right direction. Okay, so maybe my TCG video was picked up by an exec and they were like, hey, good idea. Maybe. But I know for sure that Nintendo has to be listening to me over the past few years when it comes to the Nintendo Switch, because this Direct just had too many things that I've been saying for far too long. For example, the GameCube mod being added to the Switch. Ever since the Super Nintendo and the NES were introduced as modifications to the Switch, the Game Boy Advance, I have been screaming from the top of my lungs that the GameCube needs to be added, because out of all of Nintendo's library, I mean, granted, once the 3DS took off, 3DS and then Nintendo Switch kind of took off, but honestly, the GameCube's game catalog is one of the best. It is insane. It is a giant portion of my childhood, so I've been begging for a long time for Nintendo to add the GameCube mod. And lo and behold, what do? They add exactly what I want. And if you would have made it all the way to the end of the Nintendo Direct, you would have seen that they introduced a new Donkey Kong game as well, which looks absolutely amazing. And for this one in particular, I just had to call him up. I was like, yo, Tendo, can I call you Tendo? Hold on. Tendo, can I call you Tendo? Listen, love what you're doing. My boy, Dylan Hayes, United Gamer. Listen, he's dressing up as a gorilla, hoping that you'll make a new Donkey Kong game. So let's get on that, boys. Let's get on that. Okay, thank you. And just like that, bada bing, bada boom, here we are, brand new Donkey Kong game. You're welcome, United Gamer. So with my psychic abilities in tow, what do I predict for Nintendo's future? I don't have an orb, so I'll ponder my deck. I'm predicting a not so good future for Nintendo. I'm sure many of you have seen by now, but the price point for all of this is super expensive. Just the Switch alone is a staggering $450, which, funnily enough, is lower than what I predicted at $499. However, the games have jumped dramatically. Nintendo has always been kind of pushy with setting market prices for games, and most recently the general ceiling for games was $70, which is a bit much in my opinion. But I was willing to deal with it. But now, Nintendo wants to make their digital games $80 and their physical games $90. And let's be absolutely transparent here, there's actually not really a difference between the $80 and the $90 game, because the $90 game isn't even physically in the cartridge itself. Once you insert the cartridge into your Switch, you will then be prompted to insert a code that will be on the front of the game case that you get. So it's all downloaded online anyways. There are no more physical games with Switch. I predict that if Nintendo continues to try this with the price point, that they're just going to end up digging themselves into a hole. I'm seeing all over the internet people talking about how they were thinking about getting the Switch 2, but are no longer considering it because of the game prices. Many people are also comparing the Switch 2 to the Steam Deck, and for good reason, because they look and play pretty similar, with the Steam Deck just being vastly superior up to this point. All in all, I'm glad Nintendo has made some changes that I've been personally asking for a while now. However, even Nintendo's biggest fans, such as myself, are starting to get exhausted with the price gouging. What really sucks about this is Nintendo is all IP, and that's pretty much just it. Of which many I do love, near and dear to my heart. Damn near every Zelda game, all the Mario Kart and party games, plenty of Mario's regular games, Pokemon as a whole franchise, Metroid, Punch-Out, these are all franchises that I've carried with me for as long as I can remember, but if Nintendo keeps pushing us further and further away, at some point I too may have to consider dropping this once beloved franchise for good. As a closing statement, I would just like to say to Nintendo directly, and all the other game companies I suppose, remember, we play games for fun. Yes, obviously you have to make money to continue to grow your company, but at the end of the day, games are supposed to be about fun. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, let me know down in the comment section below. Make sure you hit the subscribe button. Make sure you hit the like button. That way you can tell me that you liked it. Make sure you have that notification bell ring. That way you know when each and every single one of my videos comes out. And if you have a video suggestion, let me know down in the comment section below. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you all next time.